with his strong, glorious arms, which award fearlessness throughout the universe. He took hold of Vasuki and began churning the ocean, using Mandara mountain as a churning rod. When engaged in this way, the Lord appeared like a beautifully situated mountain named Indranila. Well, we could just talk about this verse, but anyway, we have to carry on. There's a famous verse, Vyavasta padakamalam lalita tribangi sobhagyamamsa vidali kritakesha pasham. It's describing Krishna with his hair scattered over his shoulders. His legs are crossing as he dances, as he plays his flute. This is very nice. The Bhagavatam is full of beautiful verses and poetry describing the Lord. And this is one of them. Okay, text 18. The fish, sharks, tortoises, and snakes were most agitated and perturbed. The entire ocean became turbulent, and even the large aquatic animals like whales, water elephants, crocodiles, and Timingala fish. Who said Timingala fish? Timingala fish are these fish, they're so big they can swallow a whale. Excuse me. They came to the surface. While the ocean was being churned in this way, it first produced a fiercely dangerous poison called hala hala. Excuse me. You know, I've read some of the other Puranas, and their descriptions in there are much more far out and wow than the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam's quite low key. It doesn't really, it's not as as wild as some of the other descriptions I've read. Okay, so the poison is churned. Now we're going to read the verse. Tadu gravegam dishi dishu paryado. Acha. 13 is on the board, Chitra, not 19. Who's?
We don't follow the Mayapur system here.
TK. Okay, yeah, back to the first verse then. 13. Uparyadaschat manigotra netrayo. Parena te pravishata samedita. Mamanturabdim tadasamadodkata. Mahadrina chobita nakra chakram. Mahadrina chobita nakra chakram. Uparyadaschat manigotra netrayo. Parena te pravishata samedita. Mamanturabdim tadasamadodkata. Mahadrina chobita nakra chakram.
Paryataschat manigotra netrayo.
Paryataschat manigotra netrayo. Parena te pravishata samedita.
Mamanturabdim tadasamadodkata.
Mamanturabdim tadasamadodkata. Mahadrina chobita nakra chakram. Uparyadaschat manigotra netraya. Pravishata samedita. Mahadrina chobita nakra chakram. Ladies? Uparyadaschat manigotra netrayo. Padena te pravishata samedita. Mamanturabdim tadasa madotkala. Mahajina chobita nakracha. You see where is the accent on the A? Then it goes up. Like Mahadrina chobita nakrachakram. Rather than Mahadrina chobita nakrachakram. Mahadrina, like that. Whenever there is an accent on the A. Very good. Anyone else? One more? Okay. The word for word. Upadi. Upward. Adacha. And downward. Atmani. Unto the demons and demigods. Gotra netrayo. Unto the mountain and Vasuki. Who was used as a rope. Parena, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Te, they. Pravishata, entering them. Samedita, sufficiently agitated. Mamantu, churned. Abdim, the ocean of milk. Tadasa, with great strength. Mada utkata, being mad. Maha Adrina, with the great Mandara mountain. Chobita, agitated. Nakachakram, all the alligators in the water. So I've read the translation to that. So I'm going to go straight to verse 19 where we've got a purport. Is that okay? So we went through that little section there, and Krishna, there's a beautiful description of Krishna. Then we're talking about all the aquatics in the ocean. Now the poison from the milk ocean has become manifested. And this is the subject of the chapter, Lord Shiva, Nilakanta. He's named Nilakanta. He has a blue mark on his throat from when he drank this ocean of poison. That's what's going to happen. Nilakanta. So, text 19. O king, when that uncontrollable poison was forcefully spreading up and down in all directions, all the demigods, along with the Lord himself, approached Lord Shiva, Sadashiva. Feeling unsheltered and very much afraid, they sought shelter of him. Please repeat, O king, when that uncontrollable poison was forcefully spreading up and down in all directions, all the demigods, along with the Lord himself, approached Lord Shiva, Sadashiva, feeling unsheltered and very much afraid, they sought shelter of him. Purports. It's a short purport. One may question that since the Supreme Personality Godhead was personally present, why did he accompany all the demigods and people in general to take shelter of Lord Sadashiva instead of intervening himself, as he has done so many times in this pastime already? That's me saying that. In this connection, Srila Madhvacharya warns, Rudrasya yashashodataya svayam Vishnu visham vibhu na sanjare samatopi vayam choche prashantaye. Lord Vishnu was competent to rectify the situation, but in order to give credit to Lord Shiva, who later drank all the poison and kept it in his neck, Lord Vishnu did not take any action. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksusun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhyeva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shiva Sadi Gauda Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I offer my respects to all the devotees here in wonderful Sri Mayapur, New Mayapur Dham. Thank you for allowing me to give class. Gopaswami, Prabhu. So, Lord Shiva is a great mystery in the Vedas. It is said that some tattvas are very difficult to understand. They're inconceivable. Guru tattva, very difficult. Dham tattva, what is the spiritual world in this material world? How is it? When we're here, we see ordinary trees, every insect we see. She's giving translation, Prabhu. It's okay. We see ordinary grass, ordinary trees. But this is all become spiritualized by the force of bhakti, the force of devotion, the presence of the deity. In fact, this whole area around the deity has become benefited inconceivably by the presence of the deity, by the worship of Radha Krishna, and the force of devotion from the hearts of the devotees. So this is an ordinary land. It's become spiritualized. The Dham, when Srila Prabhupada came and made a temple, it became a Dham by the force of his pure devotion when he chants. Not so powerful is when he went somewhere temporarily. If he just did a program like we went to London, we did a program in the hall that Prabhupada visited in 1969. So that hall is a tirtha. It's a holy place because Prabhupada once put his lotus feet there. But more powerful is where he established the temple. This is Dham. It's the spiritual world, but we don't see it so easily. Sometimes we feel some unhappiness or we feel some distress. But the Dham is all blissful, full of spiritual Shakti. So Lord Shiva, he is also inconceivable. Sometimes he's considered like a demigod. Sometimes he's considered like an incarnation of Krishna. He's a guna avatar. There's 3 guna avatars, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lord Vishnu. Is that right? Yes, guna avatar. So there's so many avatars, so many incarnations. So Lord Shiva, only an empowered incarnation. He's considered a demigod sometimes, and sometimes he's considered a pure devotee. So who is he? Devotees sometimes get confused who Lord Shiva is. So on his highest aspect, he's Krishna. In the Brahma Samhita, he's a form of Krishna. He's a special form of Krishna. Krishna is fully transcendental. He doesn't touch this material world. He only glances by his expansion, Mahavishnu. He just looks. He just looks at Maya. He looks at this pradhan, material energy. And Shiva carries that glance and impregnates Durga, his Shakti, the material energy. Durga, Sristi Stiti Pralaya Shakti Sadhana Eka Chayeva Yasha Bhavanani Babati Durga. She's a shadow of the spiritual energy. The spiritual energy, everyone is in love with Krishna. Everything is service to Krishna. Just like here in this Dham, what are we doing all day? We're serving Krishna. Even our guests, they're gardening for Krishna. It's not an ordinary garden, it's Krishna's garden. So it's not like going to work in some mundane place. So in the spiritual world, everyone loves Krishna, everyone serves Krishna. But in the material world, everyone hates God. Everyone wants to be God. Everyone wants to forget God and enjoy. And Krishna allows. You go and do it, no problem. But after millions and millions of lifetime, we're very tired of this business. We want to go home. So here, we have an amazing pastime. The pastime of God is called Leela. So here, Shiva acts as a powerful expansion of Vishnu. And here, Vishnu will offer prayers to his own devotee. So how is it possible that Krishna becomes submissive to his devotee? How is it possible that God even comes into this material world? How is it possible? We said previously he doesn't touch it, right? Mahavishnu just glances at it. Lord Shiva carries and impregnates this material world. So now we see that Krishna is actually in the material world. So what is his purpose? If he doesn't want to be if he doesn't want to even touch the material energy, why is he coming here? Yada yada hidamasha ajopi sanaviyatma bhutanam ishvaropi san prakritam svam adistayam sambhavami atma mayaya. By his own spiritual energy, he appears in his original transcendental form, again and again and again. Ramadimu tishu kalani yamena tistan. So many incarnations are coming. Lord Ram, Lord Vishnu, Vamana, Parasaram, Nrsingadev. So what is the purpose? One, he comes to enjoy himself. God is a supreme enjoyer. So this whole pastime here is one aspect of Krishna's enjoyment. Now, imagine you're God, right? People imagine, they speculate. How can God enjoy? Because he knows everything, he knows all the future, all the past, all the present. It must be so boring for him, right? He just floats around on a cloud. He's got nothing to do. Natasya karya karanam. He must be so bored, because how can he have a relationship with anyone? How can he enjoy anything? Because he knows what's going to happen next. So this is material calculation of God. This is our, what's the word when we? Project. Very good. We project what we think, oh, God's all powerful, he's omniscient, he's omnipresent. It must be so boring. So this is a material calculation. And you can go around the greatest yoga people, Mayavadis, they're studying all sorts of Vedanta. They don't believe in Krishna and his pastimes, because they project a material reasoning, material understanding.